Okay, so Mayo 116, Roscommon 13 points, and I'm here with Dara from the Sideline View. Dara, in the end, obviously Mayo with the victory, winning out by 6 points. What's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, from a Roscommon fan point of view, it's very disappointing. Probably most disappointing that we didn't really test Mayo at any stage in that game. But you have to give credit to Mayo. Fully deserved the win. And even the last 15 minutes, they were kind of going through the motions. So the game was never really at any stage you thought, oh, Mayo are in trouble here. That's probably the most disappointing thing from a Roscommon point of view, that it was. I think Mayo probably expected a lot harder game than they got.
And obviously Roscommon, they were kind of fairly slow getting out of traps. And they probably, like, fitness-wise, maybe didn't look up to it. Like, what do you kind of put that down to, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you could look at the fact that Mayo have been playing Division 1 football now for however many years. And while it's great Roscommon are in Division 1, next year in the 1 Division 2, there's a big gap. Mayo are playing Kerry's, Dublin's, Donegal's, where we're playing, no disrespect, probably the likes of Laois and Fermanagh and these sort of teams. So they're playing championship games standard in the league, and we're not playing the caliber of teams. So you could definitely see, the gulf in quality out there today.
Obviously, when I asked you on here during the week, I was expecting, Cork would probably give Kerry a good bit of a game, but I never expected Cork to actually win this. So I'd imagine, as a Cork fan, like, what are your thoughts and emotions after that win?
Hard to describe, really, Aaron. When Mark Keane's goal went in, just jumping around the sitting room, disbelief, really. Going into the last few minutes, I thought Cork, to give it their all. Sean Poulter was cramping up, handling all them players. And then one ball went in, and what a catch by Mark Keane. He didn't do anything else up until that moment. And then out of nothing, really. Honestly, disbelief. But honestly, all the players today, for their effort, deserve a 10 in ratings today. They were outstanding. They put their bodies on the line. If I was to give a man of the match, I'd probably go Sean Poulter. He hasn't played championship football since 2017. And this was his first game since 2017. He ran his socks off in this game. He put his body on the line. He scored a point from corner back as well.
So Meath 7-14, Wicklow 7 points. That was something else for Meath in the end.
Yeah, great win for Meath, and of course it's going to be a good confidence boost the Kildare. I think Kildare game hasn't been on yet, but I presume we probably will be playing them. So it'll be a good confidence boost, going into that game. But yeah, great victory. Kind of shows all the hard work that the management and players have been putting in. Very, very unlucky in Division 1 with results. I don't think they performed badly in any of the games. They're just kind of maybe just getting over the line, getting the draw, getting the victory. So yeah, it was a good victory for the lads, and great performances from the likes of Jordan Maris, Shane Walsh, even Brian Menton, Ronan Jones. The midfield looked very strong. So yeah, very happy with that. And finally we got a victory, which is good as well.
Yeah, like, especially in those closing stages. I remember, there was 15 seconds left, and it didn't look like they were going to be able to work a score. Like, it looked like the chance had gone. And when it fell to Luke Connolly, he was probably the only player on the pitch at that time that could probably put that over the bar. And then when it was dropping down, you thought, all right, this is it. Like, Kerry are going to, grab the ball and that's it. It's going to be game over. But then in the end, the ball's in the back of the net and it's just over. And you could even see Peter Keane, who just couldn't quite believe it, really. Like, I think he was even going up to the, some of the officials and saying what, like, because he was just in disbelief. It was a crazy finish altogether.
I was in disbelief in the sitting room, to be honest. With goal with it was just delirium, and we couldn't really process what just happened. It was just crazy what happened.
Jordan Morris with 3-4, like, that's a serious tally, like, especially for a new player who's come on the scene, as far as I'm aware as well. Like, I didn't know who he was last year, in all honesty. Yeah. So he's was he a player that was kind of knocking on the door of the Meath team, do you think, or has he just kind of come out of nowhere?
Yeah, well, I actually played for a bit with him underage in the Meath setup, and he was just always phenomenal forward, like, both-footed, quick, really good decision making, and I think he was doing really well for the under-20s and that. And like I said, I think it was only a matter of time before he came up, and like I said, when he got his chance there, I think he came on as a sub in the last two games. The one against Monaghan, scoring the points which levelled it. So yeah, I think he had been knocking on the door. And when he got his opportunity, he's definitely showed why he should be starting.
Yeah, because it was funny. When I was watching it, you could see Jeremy O'Connor just drifting in on the television, and you say he's going to get the goal. We're going to be played in. I think it was Keane McKeown or Niall Daly just was attracted to the ball with Owen McLaughlin. So he draws two players in. Jeremy O'Connor stays out. He flicked over. Now it's not an easy finish though. He took it very well. To be fair to him, even some players might have fisted over the bar just to do the safe option, but he went for the goal and. Colin Lavin had no chance, and it was a bad time. Although after the water break, I think we were 3-2. We had won that period of the game, so they didn't pull away. They missed a few chances as well, and we did as well. I think our forwards probably just didn't do themselves justice today. But the first half, Mayo really just upped their authority on the game.
I think though, take nothing away from the Cork performance. We were absolutely outstanding today. But I thought Kerry were a bit, they took the game like it was, this is going to be easy. We're getting to a Munster final. And they didn't think much of Cork, really. I think the only player which stood out was obviously Clifford, I thought. But like Sean O'Shea was poor today. A few of their midfielders just took it for granted. And they paid the heavy price and are out of the All-Ireland.
When you look through Meath and like the Leinster Championship last year and 2018, they do tend to have a little bit of a blip. Like they nearly got beat by Offaly last year, beat by Longford in 2018. So I'd say it feels good anyway to beat the teams you should be beating, and not just beating them, but just completely obliterating them as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. It feels like I think the management have brought in players, especially the younger players, which are all working in the system. They all know what they're doing. They're definitely building towards the future.
Was it a bit of a disappointment even in the second half as well that you didn't quite come out rejuvenated? Like I think obviously in RTE they were saying like the breeze is probably going to make a massive difference, and it probably didn't in the end.
Yeah, well they were saying on the television that obviously I think Scotland won the toss and they decided to play against the wind, which is go one or the other way. It goes great if you're maybe 2 or 3 points down, you have this wind behind you, but suppose there were 6 down, which is still doable, but again, that sort of momentum just never came. I think Niall Daly scored a point. Maybe we've got within 5 or 6 of them, but Mayo always just knocked another score back, and we couldn't get within 3 or 4 of them at any stage. There was no real panic. Mayo didn't really have to panic at any stage in that game, and that's probably the most disappointing thing.
I think Ronan Jones has come in and done an amazing job as well. Like I'm really, really happy with the midfield. I think we've won the best midfield. I think. In the country, you'd even say Brian Menton and Rowan Jones look really, really strong. So, it seems like we really have a really strong core this year.
I think they were thinking of Dublin, to be honest, and they put Cork to one side. But we just went for them and shocked them.
Yeah, and now looking ahead, like, I mean, the sky's the limit really now for Cork, isn't it? Like, because, I mean, look, we can't discount Tipperary, obviously, like, it'd be foolish to do that. But, I mean, certainly now, like, I mean, who knows what could happen with this Cork team now? Like, if you do come through Munster, which I do think Cork will, Tipperary will definitely be tough, but I think Cork will win that. And then you're looking at All-Ireland semis, maybe even finals. I mean, it's sky's the limit now for Cork, isn't it?
I would discard Tipperary. I don't think any Cork fan would, to be honest. But I see Tipperary yesterday. They didn't play to their full potential. They needed Conor Sweeney to just grate them out of jail, really. They didn't play to their full potential. Cork kind of did today. That might be advantage Tipperary.
Back to the drawing board now for Roscommon, I suppose, going into Division 1 for next year. I suppose, obviously, Roscommon, they don't want to be a yo-yo team, so I'd imagine that's kind of that's the big focus now, at least staying in Division 1 anyway.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, they've been up and down, and it helps playing Division 1, but if you can stay there 2-3 years, it'll definitely help you, you go to another, I'm not saying All-Ireland level, but just even Super 8 level that you can compete a lot better. And they'll probably be looking at us. I think Monaghan are probably the team that they'd be looking to say, can we replace them